Hello everyone, it's me again. I don't think I ever said this on my main channel, but I've been working on my own level pack for Sonic Robo Blast 2 for a while now. I like the idea to draw my own levels and all that. After all, I felt like I was getting a little cynical at modern Sonic games. Very bitter on recent videos. I thought, hey, maybe just making my own levels is a bit of a therapy. I'm not quite sure how ambitious I want to make it yet. I'm still kind of toying around to see what I'm capable of. But yeah, here we go. The first level of the main campaign. I already uploaded the island tour. That was like two test levels for me to kind of show off the concept. This is going to be the actual proper story campaign. And yes, story campaign. It will have cutscenes. Right you are. Probably gonna replace my own voice, or I hate my own voice as side characters. It's too distracting, probably. Anyway, yeah, we're starting off with an action-packed action prologue stage, assaulting Eggman's air fleet. Looks all kind of dangerous, but it's a very easy level. I mean, it's still the first level after all. It's very linear, and the levels will eventually open up later on, but you know, this is still the tutorial level, I guess, kinda. Ah, that guy. That robot works only half the time.
Welcome to the Dr. Agnew cafeteria. Today's specials are screws and bolt salad with diet nitroglycerin soda.
As you can see, I'm adding a little bit of my humor in it. Because, yeah, I'm very inspired by Sonic Adventure, and I always loved how Sonic Adventure had all these, like, toilets or like, little mundane details everywhere, so I'm kind of adding them in my own levels. It's technically action-packed, badass airship level, and I just put in a bunch of cute details like that. Purple stuff is leaked soda. Yeah, soda's dangerous, yeah, because, of course, it's made by Dr. Eggman, so very healthy. You know what's annoying? Because this is all made in the Doom engine, and the Doom engine is a very specific color palette. So you'll notice this level is very gray, there's a lot of gray areas. I didn't really intend that to be so. Like, I actually gave them slightly different colors. Like muted blue or muted green. But it's not in the color palette of Doom, so it just turns everything to gray. Oh well, I guess there's still enough splashes of color to still make it kind of colorful. Yep, more silly locations. Dr. Eggman has his own museum for his own glory and to kind of annoy Sonic. I love just including a lot of petty humor from Dr. Eggman. I want to make Dr. Eggman give him a very strong presence, like he's constantly shoving his face in everywhere. And we even end on a prank, because of course our heroes have to fail in the first level. Ah, this area is very unfinished. This is meant to become like an RPG area, like the Station Square in Sonic Adventure. So you're just kind of walking around town, there's going to be civilians you can talk to, and there's absolutely nothing to do gameplay-wise. That's kind of the problem with this. I don't know what to do in terms of gameplay with this. So it's entirely just, you know, story-driven, I guess, just creating atmosphere. But yeah, it is very unfinished now. I think I need to draw a lot more buildings. I don't think the buildings really work well. I mean, I love the color palette, but they look too distant. But yeah, so welcome on the island of Sol. Man, I don't even know how to pronounce the own weird name I gave it. Sestancia, Sol Sestancia. This is probably the last level. You know, I hate this. And from one perspective it looks good, and the other perspective it looks bad. Like, the Doom engine is so unstable, it drives me insane. Of course, all those fun little graphical errors. Still have to figure it out. Anyway, this is probably going to be one of the last levels I'm going to finish, because I need to settle on the storyline first. Because of course, here there's going to be civilians who are going to talk to you and foreshadow what's going to happen later on. Yeah, the background looks kind of awkward. Probably should remove the beach and the skybox. Although the ocean should be looping there, so I'm not sure why you can even see the skybox there. Oh well. very blocky cars. I did try to make them less blocky by using more slopes, but then like the side textures start glitching out. It's very frustrating. So you really, I guess, have to split up the textures in more parts, and such a pain to puzzle everything together. I don't like how the hotel looks from the inside. Need to figure out a better wall texture. This looks terrible. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much this stage. It's kind of pointless at this point. I have to add more elements. It's kind of inspired by Mega Man Legends too, where it's like television playing a little clip. I like that. Oops! I locked myself out. Yeah, you're not supposed to be there. As I said before, this level is very unfinished. I mean, it's completely empty now. And it's probably going to stay that way until I settle on the storyline. I'm not sure how ambitious I want to make this story yet. At this point, I'm just being mostly silly. It's just about Dr. Eggman bringing in a lot of Eggman soda to this island that will brainwash the civilians. This transparency problems in the wall there. For some reason, it picked a bunch of random colors and decided they're always transparent. And this toilet is a bit oversized. Have to redraw that. Anyway, I'm still struggling with the story, how ambitious I want to be. Now it's very cartoony, as I have it in my mind, but if this goes well and I have a good time, I want to make more levels, I might make it a little more ambitious. Welcome to the first proper level. So you had a prologue action stage in the RPG town. This is the first actual level. It's a lot more open. It's more or less complete. Well, there's still a bunch of minor glitches I need to figure out. This is completely by accident, but it's kind of fun to just kind of bounce on the enemies and skip this whole area. The song, in case you're curious, is from Cliff Danger, a very obscure DOS game probably nobody played. It's not a very fun game, but the music is awesome. Anyway, yeah, so the level design. I wanted to make it in such a way where, again, it's open enough and has enough like little Easter eggs and details that are fun to explore, but you're also capable of just running straight to the exit if you want. Like, I got a lot of complaints when I added too many like hardcore platform elements in my island tour stage, so I'm toning that down here. Here you can pretty much run at full speed through the most of the level. Occasionally you might slow down a little bit for a little platform bit, but there's also lots of bits like this. You can just race through the scenery with no worry about anything at all. Kind of modern Sonic-ish, I guess, but still with a lot more open areas and alternative routes. Yep, the first proper level already has underwater sections. Though you can pretty much skip all the underwater sections. If you're skilled enough, you can stay on top of the water all the time. It was kind of fun to have like a level theme return in different contexts. Like they'd introduce them as epic battleships in the sky, and now they're just ruins in the marshes. Yep, lots of hidden extra rooms. I'm not sure if that's good level design or bad level design. I don't know if people are gonna like that because it kind of disrupts the pace, I guess. But then again, that's kind of my idea here, that people who loves to explore and people who just love running to the exit, or both kind of get what they want to a degree. Anyway, yeah, the storyline. If I'm gonna make it more ambitious, I might go for more of a Sonic movie, Sonic Riders kind of atmosphere. I wanted to have like an aspect where, well, not really time travel, but there's like a past and a future version of this island. The future version set in Silver's timeline, and the past in Blaze's timeline. And kind of make the plot about Dr. Eggman Mega. Then the plot changes a bit that Dr. Eggman has become mayor of this island suddenly because of something that happened in the past that made his family eligible to become the ruler. Play up with that storyline. But again, I'm not sure if I'm gonna do that yet. Let's see how well it goes first. Because as fun as it is to make these levels, it's also very frustrating because the Doom engine is very unstable sometimes. And that concludes this level. And now we go to the final level I've completed so far. Well, completed, and it's only 70% complete so far. Again, in the final version there will be cutscenes in between the levels, so you won't just immediately go to the next level, there will be short cutscenes. Very short and simple ones though, 30 seconds or something. See, this area is a bit tricky. I'm not sure if people are gonna like this. It's like a very big open area, but it doesn't really have any purpose. It's just purely for fun. Just to create a bit of context. Like technically, you can't skip that whole open area and just go straight to this pathway. And yep, you saw Orbar the Cubot and Scratching the Ground are making cameos. There's gonna be a lot of cameos from IMP and Sonic and all that. Silly signposts like this one. Gonna add a lot of Easter eggs and visual stuff. I'm not really gonna stay to one Sonic canon. So technically it's classic Sonic, but there's also going to be modern Sonic elements, Sonic Boom elements, and Sonic X elements. I'm just going to throw in everything I like. Because it's not really supposed to be canon with the actual games anyway. It's just my own thing. Let's say it's a canon with IMP. It's an IMP spin-off. Those IMP characters will show up too anyway. And other than that, I can just do whatever the heck I want. But yes, it is a military-inspired level. Boot camp. Okay, this level is gonna have a gimmick, but I don't know how to implant it yet. This is technically going to be like an emerald hunt level like you had in Sonic Adventure, where there's like 3 emerald shards you have to find with a radar and all that, because I know Sonic Robo Blast 2 has that option to include that. I just don't know how to do that yet. So this stage mostly plays like a linear, like boot camp training course, but every now and then it gets interrupted by a big building like this, and on the inside of the building there's 1 shard hidden. So even though you have to find 3 shards, it's not like you have to search for a big open route. Like if you just follow the path, you just automatically get to the shard. But yeah, I have to figure out how it works. I think it's fun. Anyway, a glitch. This is not supposed to happen. I don't know what's going on, but you're supposed to be teleported when you enter that tunnel. But for some reason, when you play as Sonic and Tails, that doesn't happen. I must have accidentally triggered some sort of thing where Sonic and Tails are excluded from a programming element. See, when I play the level just as Tails alone, it works perfectly fine. It goes straight to the next area. So... And I also played the whole level as just a Sonic alone, and yet again, it just works fine. And I played as all the other characters as well. So I'm not sure what's going on here. It only happens when I play as Sonic and Tails, so I must have accidentally triggered something, but I can't find what in any of the line devs or codes, so... Oh man, working with Sonic Robo Blast with like the Doom engine is very frustrating. The program is very unstable sometimes, and very often there's like a problem and I have no idea what causes it, and I just do a bunch of random stuff and then suddenly the problem is solved again, and half the time I have no idea what I'm doing or why and what's causing what. It's very frustrating. Anyway, I just walked past the garage you can actually enter. That's where the second Emerald Shard would have been. It's like a nice little target practice area. I have to go through the upper route. In the end, the level will not end here. There's supposed to be a third open area, but I haven't finished that yet. That would be like a big observatory tower where the third emerald would be. But yeah, so that's what I've have so far. Because the reason why I have to teleport you is because, like you see now in this old footage, this part of the level became horrendously glitchy. It just graphically it couldn't handle you anymore, so I had to split the level up in 2 and kind of teleport you to the second half. Because, oh, and it's so random. Like some specific areas, specific things glitch as heck, and then the rest works perfectly fine. And it's so confusing. I mean, check the area here. Like suddenly there's like this flash. You see the ocean, and all these glitches here. I have no idea what caused them, and I did manage to fix it eventually, but I have no idea how I fixed it, because I didn't really do anything. I was just making more level, and all of a sudden the glitch disappeared, and honestly, working with a Doom engine is kind of terrifying sometimes. Like you're just working and spending hours making something, and all of a sudden you get this message like, "Oh, the Doom engine decided this sector isn't in use, so we deleted it." And suddenly, like this huge area of your level suddenly disappeared. It's just a black hole. It's like, what the heck are you doing? I didn't ask you to delete that. Like, it's terrifying. It's like you're a painter and you're painting this beautiful painting, and all of a sudden the paint says, "Hey, you know what? Screw your stupid painting. The canvas just decided to delete half your painting. Screw you." Like, So while I'm massively enjoying working on this project, but as my wife can tell, I'm also very pissed off very often, because boy is this program unstable and terrifying at times. But yeah, the possibilities are endless, because I love making like little landscapes, and always been my dream to kind of like draw and create my own 3D landscapes like this. Like that's kind of the reason why I like the Doom engine above modern 3D programs. It's like this wonderful mix between 3D and 2D. Like it isn't true. It isn't real 3D. It isn't like a real 3D program. You don't have to deal with like light and like very complicated calculations. It's just you create simple three-dimensional geometries and you just paste 2D drawings on it. And it really reminds me a lot of those old 90s video games like Mega Man Legends and Mystical Ninja Storm Guilmon or Fur Fighters. And Sonic Adventure to a degree where it just really felt like you're walking around like a cartoon world or something. Like I guess my level pack has a very strong 90s feel to it, because I'm kind of deliberately trying to recreate that atmosphere. I always liked the late 90s 3D games. Felt like the game developers suddenly felt like they could create whole worlds and they were just completely lost in all the possibilities instead of being too focused specifically on gameplay. So this is going to be a very unfocused story campaign level pack probably. Like I'm sure the more hardcore Sonic Robo Blast 2 fans won't be happy with this, what I'm doing. That's kind of why I called the island and this level pack Sol Sestancia. It's Portuguese, or at least very distorted, very bastardized version of Sol Substance or something. Or basically it means sun without substance. Or in other words, it's spectacle over any kind of sophisticated level design. I'm primarily just creating fun little landscapes to run through. I'm worried about the gameplay second. So we'll see how people will like that, because especially this army level, this army base, there's very little platforming going on, just kind of racing through the base. So I'm not sure how people will like that as level design. Of course, I'm still putting in platform sections in between, that's why those training courses are in between, where the soldiers would be training, and going climbing rope bridges and all that. And I'm trying to give each level a bit of a gameplay gimmick. Like the gameplay gimmick in this, besides the shard searching, is mud. Except I don't think the engine is very happy with me using so much mud. It keeps glitching a lot, so a little worried. Anyway, I have a lot of level ideas left. I want to do like a lot of people gave me interesting ideas. One wanted me to make a level based on a university. Like I thought that would be cool, kind of like a Harry Potter kind of school. A giant gym or a giant library to run through, so I'm gonna make like a university campus level. Instead of a casino level, I wanted to do like a rock and roll 50s atmosphere level. And you know, whatever the story gets me to do. Again, if I just stay with my original, just a simple plot, just simple level pack where it's just Sonic and Eggman and a zany adventure about soda, and just make about 10 levels or so. And keep it simple, just keep it on Sol Sestancia, the island, and a bunch of buildings there until you solve the soda problem. But if I'm gonna do the more ambitious thing and I have the whole time travel stuff with it, it means I'm gonna have to make a feature in the past version as well. The past version being inspired by Sonic Bros. Adventure, being more of a piratey themed version of this island, and then of course the future. That would be fun. We will see if I'm gonna be ambitious enough for that. If I'm gonna do that, probably gonna split it up in 2 parts. It's gonna be kind of like Sonic Adventure, you know, like you start off with the regular story campaign, which is just Sonic versus Eggman, And then you get episode 2, that's the final story. Which in the Sonic Adventure games would just be a lot of cutscenes in the final boss, but in my version would just be another 10 levels or so. We'll see what happens. We'll see if people enjoy this and if I keep enjoying this. Would also be useful if I had more friends or people could talk to that are more familiar with the technical aspect of it, because man, it's so frustrating to waste an entire afternoon figuring out technical things. I mean, let's talk about animated textures in this game. Oh my god! You have no idea how much of a nightmare it was to get this to work, because you need to be very precise and specific in how you organize your animated textures. Very specific. They have to be exactly in the right alphabetical order. But the problem is you can't actually insert the alphabetical order in the program itself, so you have to do it manually. And you know what the worst part is of this all is there's not really a good tutorial or not really a good documentation where I can just read step by step what I need to do. Like I had to figure most of this stuff out myself blindly. I had to reverse engineer a lot of stuff because it's very hard to get clear answers on how to do something, because the problem is, like the zone builder, like this level editor for Sonic Robo Blast 2, it's really a spin-off of a different level editor for Doom. So very often it kind of assume you already know things from the Doom level design and don't explain it how it translates to the Sonic level design. And besides that, this is very nerdy. Like, it's really made by big nerds, and nerds have a big problem just explaining things from step one. They always start in the middle or get sidetracked by little details, but it's so difficult just to get a general idea of what you're supposed to do, what you're really doing. I mean, for example, in order to like change the music or change graphics and change the title of the levels and all that, you needed to download a different program, Slade. But nobody ever told me. Like, I didn't know this. I was like screaming and yelling and trying to figure this out for days because I couldn't really do anything, and it refused to take my new textures, and I had no idea what the hell was going on. Oh, it took so long for me to figure out I actually needed to have a different program. Which, again, there's no step one explaining how you do this from the ground up. Like, I just have to stumble into the answers. It's very frustrating. Usually, it takes me almost 2 days to figure out a problem. One day just to figure out what the name of the problem is, and then another day when I actually know the name of the problem, I can actually search for the answer. I mean, animated GIFs, animated textures again. I was looking for a tutorial video on YouTube. Oh, I hate tutorial videos on YouTube because so many people just don't edit or speak well, or like you watch the tutorial and it goes on for 4 hours, and then the guy just saying, "Hi, welcome. I'm gonna explain something to you. You know, I just had lunch yesterday, and you know, I feel a bit sick, and today I'm gonna explain." And he talks like that, you know, and like, "Speak up, speak faster, speak efficient, edit, give me close-ups. I want to see what you're doing." You know, because I might be stuck for the whole day trying to solve a problem and I don't know what to do. I have no patience for dumb, slow videos where I have to like slam my face into the monitor to even see what the heck is going on. Like, can you zoom in? Can you edit? Can you show me what you're doing? And like, And the fun part is they never actually start at the beginning, or they skip half the information. Like, they simultaneously treat you like a child, and they explain the most basic stuff in the WorLD. Let me explain how WinRAR works. You see, when you have a zip file, you need to say, yeah, everyone knows how you unzip a file. That's like one of the first things you do on the internet if you download stuff. But then when you go into the more technical stuff, they skip half the tutorial stuff and immediately go super advanced or focus on a specific detail. So I was like watching 3 hours of a tutorial video on how to make animated GIFs and animated textures. And he just didn't explain anything. It was just talking about stupid details and specifics, and I didn't know where to start. Like, where do I put my animations? How do I tell the program to make them animate? Like, where do I start? And like, the Sonic Robo Blast 2 has its own Wikipedia, and it gives you like the code. It's like, oh, here's the code you type in to get it to work, but it doesn't tell you where to put in the code. So what do I do with a code in a limbo in a void? It's like here's a line of code. Like what do you want me to do with code? I don't know what to do with code. So I was watching that video, and all of a sudden in the background I suddenly noticed it's like a file called animdefs. Like he didn't say anything, he didn't introduce it, he didn't say what it was. Like he just very briefly clicks on it, like I'm clicking here and I change this, change that. Like, wait a minute, animate that. What is that? What is that? What? So I just have to watch the entire 4-hour tutorial video just to discover a file exists with that name. And he didn't explain it. He didn't tutorialize what the heck it was. And so I finally knew what the name of the thing is, and then had to research another day just to get that admin def. Like how do I get it? How do I make it? How do I work it? And like, oh, why didn't you just explain it immediately? Or I remember when I wanted to add like custom sounds in the levels, and again they I go through the Wikipedia and it explains like a million stuff, and it sends me on this enormous detour, and I have to learn how to make things, and I have to learn how to change code, and they send me in this enormous detour, and I go all over the place, and all of a sudden I notice, as a side note, as a footnote all the way below on a page, on the 50th page I'm looking at, where I suddenly notice, oh, another way to get sounds to work is just to add this little code of line def. So it sent me this enormous detour where I have to do like a bazillion steps, and still I have no idea what I'm doing. And then in page 50 of this giant tutorial, also like a side note, like, oh yeah, by the way, here's also this very easy way how you do it immediately. And like, why didn't you tell me before? Oh, it's so frustrating to figure this stuff out. I think I learned the most things by just downloading other people's levels and just reverse engineering, just breaking into them, just looking what they did. Because getting them to actually explain something is a fool's errand. So it's very frustrating, very time consuming, but I hope at least the results are worth it. So yeah, are these levels looking interesting? If you want to toy with the levels yourself, feel free to download them. I add a download link below. Just download the latest version of Sonic Robo Blast 2, throw my file in the add-ons folder, and then open the add-on in the options menu. You can toy around my level yourself. See all the glitches and horrible things I screwed up in. If you have any fun ideas what I could do with the storyline about Eggman Nega, kind of wanting revenge on Dr. Eggman or something, to travel back in time to do something to make Dr. Eggman the mayor of the island in the present as part of some sort of big plan. Like, I don't know. I haven't really figured out the details of the plot yet, but kind of playing around. If you have any ideas for a fun level, feel free to let me know. And yeah. So yeah, I'll be tinkering a lot with this game a lot more. So yeah, while we're waiting for Sega to announce their upcoming game, we can all look forward to my game, I guess, if this looks interesting to you. Did you guys see the Sega anniversary party? Man, if that's a preview of the Sonic anniversary party, then I better put my expectations even lower, because I love how much hype there was. Like, oh, Sega's doing something that's going to explode the console market and all that. And then it's just a bunch of weird stuff. Like, oh, we made this microscopic Game Gear that only has four games on it. I was like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I will buy it. I love the Game Gear. I grew up on it. But it's like, why only 4 levels? No, not 4 levels, 4 games. Like, And they did something confusing where they wanted to do arcade games on stream or on the cloud, or I have no idea what that is. I mean, it sounds interesting. I love arcade games, so if you're going to do something to make arcade games more playable or easily accessible, then I'm all for it. But it was so confusing. Like, this is supposed to be the big news that sets the world on fire, and he explained it in a way that nobody knows what it is. And there's a lot of rumors they're working on a new like controller, like touchscreen stuff. Like, So that was disappointing. But hey, at least a lot of old Sega IPs starting to get new life. All of a sudden, Alex Kidd gets a new game announced, so that's a fun surprise. I wonder, was that this fan game? I remember a fan game being made of Alex Kidd that kind of looked like this. So maybe the fan game suddenly got picked up by a real publisher. Huh. Anyway, I'm noticing I don't see Sega's logo very much in this trailer, so I guess just like any other of the Sega IPs that get resurrected, they aren't actually made by Sega themselves. It's just other companies that finally It's kind of sad that that's the best thing Sega did this decade. They didn't actually do anything themselves. They just let other companies and other people take over their IPs. Like, that's their best thing. So yeah, you know what? You stop dicking around, let other companies do it. So now we actually have a Streets of Rage 4 and a new Alex skin, and some Sonic products are actually respectable. You know, say you can do very good things as long as you don't do anything and let others do it for you, huh? But yeah, so I guess that concludes this video for now. So let me know if this looks interesting. Let me know if don't let me know anything. It's this stupid YouTube thing where it's like, oh, you have to comment on my video and then I get more money, which doesn't make sense for me because I don't even make money with these videos. Whatever. See ya.